welcome to another brand new series here on the channel. Well, I say series, it's more of a first look video. So I found this new game on Steam. I always look out on Steam for farming games and different things like that. And I stumbled across this game called Acres. And I have to admit, at first, I wasn't a fan. Um, I sort of it was one of those games, sort of spent 20 quid on it, downloaded it, played it for like sort of 2 hours, and kind of sort of came away with, I won't be playing that much more. But somehow this game keeps dragging me back in, and I now absolutely love the game. Once you kind of get to grips with all of what all of this means and all of that up there means, it suddenly becomes a very in-depth, very good game. So what's the game about? So essentially, you start off with about 4 strips in front of your shed. Now the rest of it I've built myself. So as I've been going through the game, you have to like build silos and different things. You don't have to, but it becomes very important later on to build silos and to build. They start off really small, and you have to keep expanding the silos and sort of growing them up. You also as well have to buy seed silos. So again, you buy them, and if I can get one up, so the carrot one, if you right click on the mouse, that increases the so it costs 93,000 to increase the capacity of that silo to 18,432, I think that says. And so you have to do that for all your crops that you buy and or want to sow. So there is a couple of game modes. You've got one which is what I'm playing, where you complete orders. So sort of, if you like, shops or whatever, or supermarkets or whatever, they basically put an order in for crops, and you have to meet the order. Once you've met the order and all of the bars turn green, you then get the amount of money that order says that you are to be paid. This game I've got it on sort of, because it's the very first time that I've played it, I've got it on not the easiest, I've got it on normal, I think, and it's been a real challenge. I would hate to play this game on hard, because I mean the last sort of game mode in this one that I'm playing, the last sort of title, you've got really easy, normal, hard, and then impossible, and then the highest one, the highest one, which made me laugh, is really stressful. And I can imagine that it really would be stressful. I am just going to pause time for a second while I kind of go through the game a little bit. So as you can see, you need fuel tanks. They become very important, and that at the top there is the amount of fuel that you have, and they're the buttons that you click to purchase. So that one I think is 1,000 litres. That one is 500, is it? I think. And that one is, I think it's 1,500 and then 250, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on that, and it might say there, but unfortunately I can't read the writing, it's too small. So, but yeah, and you also start off with this really old classic tractor, which is incredibly slow, and then eventually, as you build up and fulfill the contracts, get more money, eventually, I mean, I've now got 1.8 million in the bank, but I have, since I've been playing this game, I have gone bust twice, and in this sort of current save, I have nearly gone bust about 4 times in this, but I'm now the other side of it, and I think as long as I'm not silly anymore and reckless, I will be fine. So as you can see, the fields you have to make yourself. Like I say, you get a few strips at the beginning of the game, and I think you get carrots and cabbage as your first 2 crops, and I think carrots is the silo that's down, and cabbage, it sort of shows you how to buy and what have you, and then you go from there. As you can see, I've missed a bit of plant in there. So got my John Deere's, or gym books, I think they're called on here, because they're not. It's not obviously branded. I think it's called Gym Book. And then you've got Cass and Tord, and then National, and then Harvest All Club. But yeah, so we've got the John books. They're the best tractors, or gym books. They're the best tractors to have on the game. They go really fast, and they're really efficient. And yes, they do use quite a little bit of diesel, but the trade-off is to how quick they can do the job. And so therefore, it's well worth having. You do have to be a bit careful with this game, because yeah, sometimes I've been sort of had these selected like this, gone through, accidentally caught my left mouse button, and it just builds it. There is no, do you want to place this here? There is none of that. It just builds it, and then you have to destroy it. You don't get nothing for it. So yeah, so these are my gym books. They're 15, and each field is 15 rows deep. So so every one of my tractors obviously just goes in one field, and they go straight across the field, and we get everything done. Down here, so you've got your I don't know what that one is actually. This one's with all the little bits of gizmos and gadgets that you can do, and you can move placeables as well, so you can move them, turn them around, and sort of whatever. It's okay. I think it still needs a bit of work. This is an early access game, so it's by nowhere near means the full finished product. But I mean, it does work. I can move buildings around, but it's a bit sketchy. And like I say, if you accidentally press your left mouse button, it does just drop it. There's no, do you want to place it here? It just places it there. This one is your placeable, so you've got your seed bins, and then you've got your harvest silos, your tractor barns, and then your fuel tanks, and then I haven't unlocked these yet, but you've got your warehouses. And it must say as well, I can't move my mouse, but it must say in that green bar movable. If it doesn't say movable in there, it's a building that can't be, obviously it's a placeable building that can't be moved. And then you've got your compost stations, your oil presses, your biodiesel refinery, and then finally your jam processor. So yeah, you've got those things there, and then these are your sort of important ones. So these are your tools. So every tool that you have, you start off with just hand tools. So you do everything by hand. So you get, like, say, 3 strips. You do everything by hand. But then as you progress, you then can progress up to a plough. So this plough will go on the back of the classic tractor, but none of the other ploughs, as far as I can tell, will, unless I'm doing something wrong. Yeah, because it's got farm required, like 10 horsepower. And then that one is 50. That one might actually. And then you go up to that one, which is 5 rows, and then 7 rows. So basically what I do is I use 2 of them in a field, so that's 14 rows, and then 1 gym book on a single row plough, and then just plough the last breed. You then come over to here, which is your seeders, and again you start by hand, and then you have to click it, and then you get the 1 row, 3 row, and the 5 row. We are now up to the 5 row. These are your hoes. So when you've planted your crop, weeds do have a massive effect on your crops, their growth, their yield, everything. But once you get sort of established and going, then there is a tool that is an absolute godsend, and you have to buy it because honestly it's just so brilliant. But again, you start off with your hand hoe, and then you move up to the 1 row, 3 rows. So the number in the blocks represents the number of rows that it covers. And then P, this one only does 1 row, but as you can see, it lays a plastic mulch layer, which means that for the rest of that crop's life in your field, weeds won't grow. If you use one of the weeders, after a few days the weeds will start to come back through again, and you'll have to do it again. And if you're continually using tractors on this game, it's very expensive. And then you've got your watering can, which is for your sprayers. So again, you've got your handheld one, you've got a single row one, and then a 5-row one, and then you've got manual solid fertilizer spreader, and then your solid fertilizer spreaders, and your Eco Balance pH Pro, which is that machine there, because I have no idea what that does. But yep, and then you've got your harvest, and again you start off with your hand, you go to 1 row, and then 3, and then 5, and then this is your manual berry harvest, and then this is your berry harvester. This is where you create and build fields. That, as far as I can tell, is a beehive, and that's about it really. So what we'll do is we will press play, and we will get some harvesting done. Once you see the blue diamonds above, or the blue shape above your crop, then that field is then ready to harvest. As you can see, I planted 2 fields of carrots, but the 4 fields that I had before it actually filled the bar in. Sometimes you have to grow a heck of a lot of something in order to fulfill the contract. So these carrots will go into the silo, and then if we should ever get anything... Oh, and another thing to remember about the silo is, so you can put crop in there. Obviously the crop will go direct into the silos from harvesting. If there's no orders, obviously your crop will stay in the silo, but if there is an order, it will automatically add what's in the silo to your order, so that you don't have to do that. It's sort of automated. However, if there is crop left over, and the crop is in your silo for longer than 6 months, which is up here, so it's the 11th of May at the moment. So if you was to have that in there until November, say carrots in there until November, the carrots then will start to rot, they start to deteriorate, and obviously you start to lose a lot of money on them. And then once a silo is completely rotten and bunged up, I don't really know what happens, because I haven't never let any of them get there, but maybe one day I will do, but certainly not for now. But so I'd say we'll crack on. We'll do a bit of harvest, and then sort of show you through the game mechanics. So this is the bit that I have trouble with. It's knowing where they're lined up. Right, so there, and there, and as I say, because we've got 15 gym books, we can just spread them along the field, and they will then do that. You can harvest in any weather, which, you know, as I say, it's not fully complete this game, but they basically go across the field like that. They harvest, it goes into the silo, so as you can see, that's what we've got in our silo at the moment. And then once the silo gets full, it will automatically just sell it at market value. And the current market value is, if we were to sell everything in there now, would be 25,000. So as you can see, the crops disappeared. As the fields update, then those blue diamonds will all disappear, and then you can get on with the next one. So we'll look along and just see what we've got growing. So we've got 3 fields, I think, of bell peppers, which should fill that thingy. I might just grow another field just to make absolutely sure. So I think I will do, just to make absolutely sure. We've got loads of tomatoes, which is those ones there. So hopefully that should then, these fields, because I think I've got about 6 fields of tomatoes, which should then hopefully, as I say, fill that one. But we need over another 1,000 litres, or 1,000 tomatoes, if you like. I don't know whether it's calculated in litres or whatever, but so we might need another couple of fields of tomatoes in the end. But that's no problem. So we'll get on and plough them. And as I say, this is all I do to plough the field. So I literally put it in like that, in like that, in like that, and then go to the one. Get that to go there, and that to go there, and that's done. As I say, we'll probably go for 2 more tomato fields, I think. So then we go to the seeding one, and then we look for tomatoes, and then we then go select our 5, and again we need to turn around because I can't always see. Now you have to be a bit careful, because sometimes, for some unbeknown reason to me, it doesn't always fully plough the fields. But then we come along, and then we put down the sowers, make sure that you have tomato again, because if you haven't made sure that tomato or the crop that you want to sell is not selected, then it will just literally drill whatever. And then what we do is we come into this one, and then we wait. You have to wait until all of those sort of browny dots are covering the whole field, because I've found if you do it too early, what happens is it will cover the first bit, and then these bits it kills all of the seed. So you have to wait until it's all covered, and then you can sort of do it. So we just wait, and then it should update, and then we can then get the 15 tractors on board and going. There we go. So you literally just set them off. Oh, we don't know why it sometimes cancels them as well. That one wasn't from the beginning. Another thing you have to make sure of as well is that you're on block 1, because if you're not, what happens is that you then have field that's missed. And as I say, any job can be done in any weather. It doesn't matter. And then once they're off that field, we then do this field, and we cover them. And as I say, it's very expensive, as you can see. The money's rapidly going down to use the tractors, but having tractors, or 15 tractors with 15 row fields, is very, very efficient, and it means that we can get everything ploughed and drilled and covered in one growth day. Every crop grows at different rates, which I quite like as well, and every crop requires a certain type of nutrients or whatever in the ground. So I'll just show you that for a second. So along the bottom here you can see the ground soil data, and again you must make sure there's water, and then you go through pH, nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and then sulfur, and then that one is your micronutrients. And all you do is, if a field's getting low, let's see if we can find one. So this one's quite low on a few things. Now I've found that if you just spray on a general, the field does very well, and I've missed a row there. So sometimes you have to, I've missed 2 rows there perhaps, however. No, just 1 row, is that? Yeah, I think it's just 1 row. But yeah, so that's what you have to do. And then, as I say, as you're going through, the crops come available. So these, what are these? Bell peppers. So we'll now see whether we've got enough bell peppers or not to cover that contract. We need 900. But from this way on, it's not always easy to see whether you've got the right rows. I haven't. I've overlapped. So then what you do is you just get a 1-row harvester, and you come along. Like that was enough to cover the bell pepper contract. We then got paid, and then in a few moments what will happen is another contract will come in then. So these fields now can go to tomatoes as well, because we need to make sure that we've got more than enough tomatoes coming in. So otherwise, as I say, if the blue bit at the top here, if that runs down, then we need to buy some more diesel. So we'll do that. But if that runs down, then you lose the contract, you lose the money, and not only that, but you also lose all of the crop that you put in. So it is quite important to try and get things harvested and orders met, because otherwise you end up losing an awful lot of crop. The other field's not quite ready, but as I say, the tomatoes will now be, the bar will move very slowly because it requires such a huge amount, and the yield for tomatoes is not very good, hence the reason why I have literally populated this farm with tomatoes, because I want to hit that contract, because it's worth £500,000. So literally the farm at the moment is just being planted with with tomatoes to make sure that we meet it. because, and you also actually as well, so this red bar here is your reputation bar. So we're currently on 109, so 100 out of 100. Oh, so we had enough tomatoes, so that's another contract met. So now we're just waiting on our cabbages to turn to ready to harvest, and then we can harvest them as well. But we have now got all the tomatoes, so these tomatoes will now go into our silo, as will the rest of these tomatoes. They'll all go into our silo, and then if we get a new contract with tomatoes, what was in our silo will automatically get added to that. So as I say, I won't plough now until we're ready to start selling. We've got these are tomatoes as well. Have we not got cabbages? So what actually we will get planting. These are tomatoes that I've just thingied, so we're going to have way more than enough tomatoes. So I might do these ones as well. Cabbages, in fact, there's no might about it. I do need to do that because I haven't got any growing, and that contract bar is running down, and cabbages are a long time growing crop. But as I say, I didn't like the game. I have to admit, the first time, maybe the first couple of times that I played it, but once I don't know, I just kept getting drawn back to it, and I kept going back to it, and then eventually I started to get the hang of it, and as I say, now I can't stop playing it. I have to confess that it's been played a little bit more than Farming Sim of late. Sort of with Farming Sim, I've been sort of recording my videos and then sort of immediately coming over to this game because I just like the fact that it's so it's almost a bit like an app game on my tablet where you're just constantly busy, you're constantly turning fields around. As I say, once you're kind of satisfied that you're not going bust, you build another field because it's very expensive to build fields. Your gym books are the most expensive tractors. They're at 44,000 each. If you had one of those sheds down for that tractor, plonked it down there, and that was the only tractor you had, you can then come onto the shed. When it's highlighted blue like that, you can right click and it will automatically upgrade that tractor to the next highest tractor. So it'll be the yellow one, as you can see, and then the Tord, and then the Cass, and then the Jim Buck. So it will automatically upgrade. So in theory, you can't get away with just having one tractor, I don't think. But as I say, now I have to sort of kind of put down, and the strip level with the barn is what I'm developing. Everything else will be used because, as I say, I intend to sort of play this game, a lot. Right, so busy yakking, and I've probably missed my window now for protecting these plants, but never mind, we'll have a go anyway because we're a bit of a have a go era. But yeah, no, as I say, it's a game I would recommend if you like farming. I think it's a good game. It's, as I say, there's lots to do. It's really hard, which is good. It's a really good challenge. At some point I probably will have a go at the hard one. And there is also another game mode, which is continual game mode, and I've not played that one yet either. There's some new orders now coming in, so we're going to need a lot more cabbages. We're going to need corn, we're going to need chilies, carrots, and wheat, but they will get updated in a few minutes. So I don't know whether it's midnight or whatever the next day, they will get updated, and any crops that we've got in any silos, they will start to fill that in. So then it will give us a better idea of what we're desperate for and what we're not desperate for. But yeah, so that's got them done. I just want these to turn then. I don't really like growing single fields of things, and I might even now put up another field. We need some more diesel. As I say, the tractors, they do use an extortionate amount of diesel. But yeah, as I say, it's not too Mr. Rowe there. Look. What happened there was, for some reason, as I said, it planted this half, but it didn't plant this for some reason. I don't know why. but they're about to turn now, so we'll soon be able to get them off. And then once these bell peppers down, they have now turned, so we can get these off. And then we can look at what we need the most of, which is cabbages. There you go, they're filled in now. So we've already filled the chili one, we've already filled the carrot one. We need quite a bit of wheat. We've already filled corn, and we need cabbage. So these fields now can go cabbages. We'll have a couple of fields of wheat. So, or we might even just, no, we'll put these with cabbages as well, and then these three with cabbages as well. That should then give us a really good start on the cabbage front, and then as I say, we should be good to go. So yeah, but as I say, it's a good game, and it's managed to keep me occupied for many hours. So we can now get these harvested as well. Actually, no, that needs to stop because it won't work. Oh, actually, it might work. Let's just see whether it collides with the, because I've always done it from the other way. Let's just see whether it collides with the building or not. As I say, what we'll do is we will get all of these fields harvested and get them cleared, and then we need to get the cabbages growing, and then some wheat growing as well. So we've got quite a bit of ploughing and stuff to do as well. So the bell peppers have gone from there. As I say, the tomatoes from there are going. We've still got tomatoes here. We've got cabbages here. Did these get? Yeah, these got taken, so that's good. We've missed another bloody row, which is good. Oh, actually, that row hasn't fully developed yet, so we'll just leave that row be. And then, as I say, we'll go from there. Has it left these? If you do find that it does leak, it hasn't left them, no, but it has. So I have. Oh, that row is now ready. So just, well, you can do one. You can do, but it is cheaper just to snip them off yourself with your hand tool. And saying that's that done. So what we'll do is then we'll get all of these ploughed now, and then these will go cabbages. These three, these four will go wheat, and we should get near to giving them a shaking. But as I say, because that one is nearly full of cabbage, it is nearly filled with the cabbage requirements. So I'm not panicking too much about that one. It's the other one. I've got to make sure that I've got more than enough to go, because as I say, cabbages do take a little while to grow. And and then just switch over to your one plough. And then back to your 7. See what I mean about missing sometimes? I mean, that might update, it might not have actually missed it, but if it does, again, it's only an acre, so each of those little square represents an acre of land. So yeah, we're going to need to just update that one, but that's fine. Again, we can do that with the hand tools, and then what we'll do is we'll get these done, and then we're ready for planting. So they're now ready as well. Tomatoes don't traditionally take all that long to grow, to be fair. So I think they're ready, aren't they? No, they're not. Is it those ones? Oh, you do get to the stage where you start imagining blue diamonds, but it wouldn't harvest them. So yeah, we do need to just update that one, this one, that one looks fine. So again, we just go over to our hand tool and just tidy them. It doesn't always miss. I'm not really sure why it does miss, but it doesn't always. Usually it is quite good at doing it, but just make sure they are all ploughed. Yep. So now we can switch over to our sower, and we can now come in here, and these are all going cabbages. So we can now, as I say, I find it easier to turn the camera around. So the camera controls are, I will show you in 1 second once I get these done. So it's Q and E to turn the camera left and right, and it's W, oh sorry, that's S, so S is to bring the camera down, W to move the camera up, and then also as well the mouse wheel scrolls the camera in and out. So we now select our hoe again, and then we just go through and we hoe the fields, or cover it in plastic mulch, and we'll be good to go. Just scroll out a little bit so you can see when they're done, then the next field, then the next field, then the next field. And those cabbages will be good to go, which is really good. As I say, every job can be done in any weather, so it does need doing. This this game does have a roadmap on Steam, so the developer is very active in sort of doing little updates and improvements to the game. There haven't been any since I started playing the game, but I have read through some of the comments on Steam, and a lot of the people have said that the developer is very good and very quick answering queries. We've run out of diesel, so all the tractors just stop until you refill with diesel. So yeah, he's very quick at answering your queries and putting bug fixes and patches and stuff out there, and he is also developing the game as well, like continually developing the game, because I do have quite a lot of early access games off Steam, and I do find that after probably about a year, the exception being Ranch Simulator, which I have, they do continue. I think that game is now fully released, but as I say, that one was looked after very well, but there have been quite a few that I've sort of got my hands on, and then the developers have just sort of kind of left it. But I like to make sure that they're all done before I set them all off again. Oh, I didn't actually plant them with anything, so we will stop them straight away, because as I say, it's very, very, oh well, those two are nearly reached the end, but now we'll have to plough that again. So that was my bad. I thought I'd gone through and drilled them all. So my bad. But yeah, so as I say, that's the game, and it's not bad. What I will probably do, oh hang on, the cabbages are nearly ready. That should then be that contract fulfilled, and then we've just hopefully got to grow enough in time for that one. All we need is wheat off there, so that's pretty good. So that one's nearly fulfilled. As the time on these contracts progresses, the money does go down. So as the bar moves, so does the money drop each time as well. So you have to be sort of fairly quick and efficient, unlike what I was just then, at getting everything sort of set and in, and making sure you've got plenty of stock. But anyway, we will resend these planters on their way. I might even, now that those other cabbage fields are getting ready, I might even put cabbage in here. So if the cabbage seed bin runs out, it will just stop planting where it ran out, and then it's up to you to then go along and fill the bins, or fill the bin again to make sure that you can sort of plant the rest of the way. But we'll get these harvested. As I say, that contract was right near the end anyway, so we were good to go on that one. And then we will alright, so we need to do this one. Sometimes when you get really busy, it is very tempting to buy another 15 lots of tractors. But as I say, compared to the other tractors, these gym books are very much quicker and way more efficient, so you have to move over to them. I think the reason I went bust almost a few times is I tried upgrading to these tractors too quickly, and I was also building fields because I just didn't appreciate how expensive it is to build fields on this map, on this game, and we've got a little bit of money, so I'll just show you quickly field building, and then we will go from there. So again, we'll just wait for them to finish. We tend to find it's best just to see the first few disappear, and then you can start setting them off, because they're never that far behind each other, so I'm sure you're alright now. As I say, if you didn't do this with the fields, you will be hoeing them every sort of day and a half, 2 days, and it's a huge effort and a massive expense. So we're just now waiting for these tomatoes to come. Those cabbages not too bad, so these 5 fields of cabbages that we've got here, so 7 fields of cabbages that we've got there should more than finish that contract. So that'll be another contract knocked off. And as I say, they automatically update at midnight, and they'll sort of come through as and when. If you don't get any contracts, which I've had once, I've had it where I didn't have any sort of orders, if you like, or contracts for a couple of days. My advice there would be, and this is what I did, and I think this is what saved my farm, was I just decided to plant the whole lot carrots. And the reason being is that carrots, they want a lot of them all the time. They take an absolute eternity to grow, and they don't yield that good. Because I had planted the whole farm of carrots, when I harvested, it meant that I was well in front of any carrot orders that came in. So then what we'll do is we'll grow these 2 fields of wheat, and then any more fields or after because wheat doesn't take all that long to grow, so we should be okay with the wheat in terms of being able to turn wheat around really quickly. And then we need more diesel. So we've got them now doing. So then we find wheat. So we've got loads of seed in stock. And again, we just turn the camera because it's easier to see. So another contract has just come in. That's for onions, chilies, and bell peppers. So again, they're 3 crops that do take a little while to go in. This is gradually getting harder and harder to fulfill these contracts. But as I say, I was just lucky that I managed to get myself well in front on a food fields and food crops. It's like tomatoes. I'll be well in front with tomatoes now. So any of them that come in, I mean, that will update if I've got any in stock anyway. That'll update, and then we can go from there. Again, not too bad. And yeah, sure, there we go. So that's another contract gone. So that contract that came in just then, I had all of the required crops and no real effort, and it was quick money. So sometimes you do get lucky. And yeah, so all we're looking for now is some cabbages, which, as I say, we've got these 7 fields down here. So we're doing very, very well for cabbages down here. I'm fairly confident we will fulfill that. And then, as I say, we need to then get these fields of wheat covered, and then get the tomatoes harvested. As I say, that will then put us ahead on tomatoes, and we are in a very good position at the moment, but it can all go very, very horribly wrong very, very quickly on this game. But I think it is getting time to build another field. So all you do, come into your field icon here. So 7, try and put them all as squares if I can. So, and then I'm never really sure the most efficient. So what I have been doing is that, but I've suddenly realised that's what's costing me a lot of money, because it charges me for the full amount, not the fact that I'm using half. So what I do is now is I just so you can go into your 1 row, because we need 1 more row there, and then go into your hand, sort of basically using a spade, and then just fill them in. It does take a bit of time, but like I say, the other way, I think it was because I was paying for a full square when I was only using half a square. So, but it doesn't take all that long to dig over. And as I say, we've then got some harvesting to do. So if the tomato silo is full, then it will automatically just sell them at wholesale price, and we should near enough recoup everything that we put in there. We've got just 1 more field for now, and then we'll do another one after the next contracts for field, just so as I say, I've learnt my lesson. The trick to this game is not to expand too rapidly, because you just, or I don't realise just how much everything costs to expand. But as I say, the tomatoes will go in, so the silo can take quite a few, because as I say, it is the full size silo, and that's a tomato one. And the blue line obviously represents how full it is, so we can get lots in there. So we'll be well ahead again on any contracts that come in. But yeah, so that's pretty much the game. Right, these are ready to go now. So we'll harvest these, and then we'll call that it for this episode. I just wanted to kind of show you the game. I just wanted to sort of see what you guys think, and if you want me to do a series, if I do a series on it for YouTube, I will do it from scratch. So I'll start from the very beginning. The only thing I would say is that the amount of grinding that needs to be done for a very long time to get anywhere. Does mean that the videos might be few and far between, just because of the amount of time and hours that I would have to play it in order to get us sort of any really where fast. So the wheat is coming through, I hope. Yeah, so the wheat is coming through. Those sort of different shades might mean that, oh no, it's updating. So there we go. So it's on a growth stage. But yeah, and that's this game. So I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you haven't done already, please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Tell me in the comments what you think about the game, whether you'd like to see me do a series on it, or what your thoughts are. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.